You know what sucks about 12.6? This is going to take forever for my class, so therefore I actually have to cut most of it, but let me get you to the gist of the point of this section before I actually set it, okay? So, two types of spikes will spawn. A gray spikes and red spikes. Gray spikes you use commands and actives, red spikes you use specials. Like so. Now, how to tell when this phase is actually over is when you're destroying these, the eyes will slowly open up on the left of the gray spikes. The eyes will slowly open up, like so. You can see that eye slowly opening, and when all four of them are completely open, that is when the phase is over. The purpose of trying to do this phase as fast as possible is that it will actually create a debuff for you. As you can see right here, I have 3 debuffs on the top left next to my pet. There is that, there's the raid joining, so I can't join a raid anytime soon after this. There is the adaptability, which is 50% stat lowering, and then there's another one that will actually lower your physical and magical even more past that. So pretty much this is here to be like, you better know what to do here or else then you're going to start doing less damage. However, because of this being in story mode and I'm trying to solo, I can't cover as much ground, so I'm probably going to get a higher debuff. But this will affect your entire raid. Fun render count, Crusader tactic. You can actually burst wolf to knock these debuff away from you for a couple of seconds, so therefore you can actually do a little bit more damage. This works on everything, and it will permanently stay there until dead, or if they're in a purple frame, which means that they actually start resist. Or what purple frames are in this game is that they are actually super armor plus debuff immunity, and because they're in debuff immunity, it will actually cleanse them of the current debuffs on them. Coolest mechanic in all honesty. Like, I have to go on about something for like, I'm not going on so I have to cut it, but then, like, I am here going insane for the past couple of minutes just being like, I need this over with so I can just get to the next stage. Then I gotta prep up what I'm saying for the next stage, or else then I'm just gonna have a huge random pause and breakdown. Good thing I'm skipping stuff. I'm skipping this, right? Like, I'm actually gonna cut both. I am on the third eye. Someone, please save me. It does, but in story mode, it doesn't. They actually prevent you from dying so that you can actually attempt to solo this, even. I'm so sad. This is not gonna kill anything. That almost killed everything but one. My classes suck so much. Please. Make him do at least some sort of damage. My specials! I have a +11! Look at this! Oh, oops, wrong button. I have a +11! This is torture! Well, clearly he's not, and he's not meant for tanking anymore because they keep lowering his defensive stuff. Even though it won't affect me in NA for I build stuff, but anyway, yeah, hey, welcome. I finished phase 1, now it's time to phase 2. Sorry, I went on a little rant about my class, but back to focusing to explaining the raid. So this one will have a main flower eye and 4 side flower eyes. They all will spawn around, and he says, fun fact, you can spread your debuff around and it permanently stays unless you're the boss that decides I don't want to be debuffed anymore, and it actually weakens them. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just focusing because I'm soloing this is actually very different than actually running it. But anyway, the boss and the eyes can pretty much do the same types of attacks, such as locking on, doing lasers that ignore iframe. You can see I'm slowly losing HP and stuff. Well, here, you can actually iframe that type of laser, but the other laser isn't. When targeting, you will actually know that you are being targeted if you see 3 little pluses or crosses next to you, so therefore you can actually see it. And then you can only really target the boss when one of the eyes is actually destroyed. However, you want to try and destroy the eyes before they actually have healing, which you probably saw a little bit of the aura a bit earlier. I frame this laser, as I said. You can also debuff the boss, as you can see here. The boss is debuffed with Pandemonium and its own debuff. But the purple frame, like I was talking about, will cleanse off all those debuffs. After certain HP thresholds, he actually will do this attack, which will make him start glowing, and you gotta try and destroy all these smaller eyes in a set period of time. If not, you will get wiped, but since this is story mode, I will actually show what will happen with the wipe if you don't destroy all of them. Meanwhile, this is a great way to say that this down platform right here you can't fall down through, while also this platform right here you can't go down from. Good platforming. Here it is. Now you can see the animation. As you can see here, this is a good way of showing off the 3 pluses. And then you gotta move slightly afterwards, but this eye actually is so slow, so it actually takes a while for it. It's a lot easier to show in the 3rd phase on the cross distance. He actually does replicate a lot of the similar attack patterns from here. Until they do this again. But yeah, now I will show you what will happen if you actually do destroy you. I can't go down. But yeah, this is pretty much what happens when you destroy it, is that it actually closes up and is stunned for a bit, which is vulnerable and debuffable. So you want to make sure that your entire party gets there and kill it. The most optimal thing to do with team play is that you actually want to try and get destroy 3 of these things right here. And therefore, when you destroy 3 of them, you can just wail at the boss. If you notice that the last one is healing, if someone's watching and stuff like that, then you can do that. Or you can try and do the separation tactic if you have geared enough people, where then you try and split up as a group and try and get each one to kill different segments. So you have 1 on boss and 1 on killing eyes. You have enough DPS. If not, then it's best to try. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This as well. Probably do another cut as well before I start ranking. The blast can actually just do nothing in raid except for support. Because it doesn't have any good DPS that's AoE. Because you know, it's not like that shouts were meant to do damage. When Rage of Guardian, which isn't a shout, does more than my shouts. And that is pretty much it. Please don't kill me, you little eyes. Little eyes, please don't kill me. Okay, they didn't. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this phase, where then we will go over to the next phase, which is the 3rd one, because I can count. Really? That's the best I can come up with? But yeah, no. This is pretty much going to teach you that it has some attack patterns from the 2nd one, along with some mechanics from the 1st one, but you can't see it because I am currently soloing, sadly. But we can study all the rest of the patterns, and then I'll go over on how to do it as a raid party. Pretty much this boss will always starts off by teleporting straight to the center to teach you that 1, it can teleport, and 2, it can do this attack. This is a little pinroll attack that will do damage and will actually ignore iframes if I show you here. And also whenever you die the boss heals, so I don't want to be trying to showcase as much as this as it goes to try and save time for myself. Aren't I selfish? You see here the boss can teleport in basically 5 different slots, 4 slots where it actually just attacks. Also you can put the adaptability debuff on him, except he just cleansed it because why not? Ah yes, this attack pattern that I gladly know so much better. Because it's so much faster and I'm used to it. Pretty much it's just this kind of pattern now. Where these lasers can also client-side. Same thing that with phase 2 actually, I didn't put that in. Currently that is a bug that hasn't actually been fixed yet, and hopefully we can get that fixed one day. Technically, because I'm soloing, it is registering that there's only 1 target, so it is unable to currently do this other attack pattern, which is called, what people call prisons, or cage prisons. What it is that certain cages will spawn on players in your party that then can actually will trap them, and in colors of gray and red. Again, same thing with phase 1. Gray means you use commands and actives, and red means that you use special actives. Since I'm soloing, it doesn't actually do that. Some other things to actually note is that the boss can actually also be frozen and petrified. But as it keeps getting petrified and frozen, it will actually start getting resistances for a short period of time, meaning that it cannot get debuffed like that again. As for a timer, I don't really have a good idea on the clock, but freezing and petrify count as 2 separate things, so you feel free to do both debuffs on them. So now, now that it's below 70 bars, it can, with this wheel, it can start turning the other direction midway through the spin, which is why you gotta be careful. However, there's a way of memorizing it, which is when it does about a full rotation, so you're about to get back, or about a full rotation, my bad, where you're about to get there, back to where you were, it will turn the other way. So just get a little good, like, memory clock on that, and you will be fine. Getting somewhat close to the 60 bars, which currently in NA, I would say slow down, but in KR, doesn't matter because they remove the damage reflection. That, around him, he actually would have a damage reflection would kill him. So you can see here, the spikes spawn out, which will one-shot you, and also go through iframe, so I wouldn't do that. But, pretty much all you have to do is you have to try and get him to hit himself, and he will be stunned and vulnerable throughout this period. And he only can do that once per rotation, and I mean rotation literally, as in attack rotations, and also as in, you know, he can do it again if he spins like so. Again, that's pretty much the entire pattern at this point. The only problem is having to coordinate with people, dealing with the cages as a group. As you can see here, he's about to spin around the other way pretty soon, like so. You target off of one person, but it will client side and client side, depending on your team, so be very careful of that. He actually will heal more the further HP he goes down. If you have problems with the spin like so, and you don't have a double jump character like me, with cannon jumps, some ways to make it easier for you is if you have Twister Apples or Ventuses, potions to increase your movement speed to try and give you a little bit more leeway. Just be careful not to run towards the spikes if you get too much. Here he's in a different segment, so teleport segment, so just try and get him to hit himself, like so. Pretty much you want to try and get underneath him or above him. You could probably, with the damage reflecting moves in KR, probably actually use side switching inputs. Control your speed. The spikes will also do a lot of damage. Forgot to state that while I'm about to kill the boss, so you gotta do that. And also be careful for it can actually have a lingering frame effect. So be careful of the thorns. If you iframe through it though, you are completely fine, depending on what kind of iframe you use for it. And therefore it's gonna start turning around right about now. The thing that makes this kind of harder though, in an actual raid, is the actual effect of the cages, which is what I would recommend if you are to be together. Try and group up as close as possible and don't make any sudden movements, or else then it could potentially make your team die, or they can't save you, it'll be on position. You just try and stay together to try and get, so therefore we can free everyone at the same time. That's not center. And that's pretty much the end of this raid and its patterns. Honestly, pretty simple once you get used to it. The only problem is trying to work together as a team and then freeing people from the prisons. But yeah, anyway, that's 12-6. And I hope this helped. I said I hope this helped. Helped! Okay. See you guys some other time.